show your face. Show your face, please, with Durk on top.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, I think we all could agree that 2024 seemed to be the year where everyone's falling out with each other, and them old relationships we thought were solid have proven to be more flimsy than ever. Now I know they say when you're on your way to success, sometimes you can't take everybody with you and you may have to cut some friends off. And that infamous quote where they say it's lonely at the top just may be realer than we thought. Time after time we see guys fall out over the smallest things, which some believe that them friends you fall out with may have always had ill intentions with you, but it just took a certain situation to expose how they truly felt. Meanwhile, you have others that feel when a certain individual starts getting money, they start acting funny and acting different, causing them to fall out with the same people that once supported them. And with that being said, we have FYB J-Man. For y'all that have been following J-Man, you can see the level up in success as he went from drill rapping to doing a total 360 by switching over from rapper to being a full-time podcaster. It seemed to be a natural for J-Man, and he also incorporated pushing peace into his style. It started with J-Man and Tay Savage linking up, where they would go viral for changing the narrative, where people thought two guys who rap two different sides couldn't come together and get along. In the midst of them both doing so, it made others okay with sitting down with J-Man, where if it was about a few years ago, it may have never transpired. J-Man went from pretending to be signed to Little Durk for $250,000 to actually having a phone conversation with Little Durk recently, where they spoke about coming together to push peace.
Yo, J-Man.
Yo.
I got smart on my phone.
Alright, that's a bet.
What's the word, buddy?
What's that word?
What you have going?
Knocking these whoop interviews out. You know I'm trying to say Chicago. You know that. They hit different.
Durk would be the perfect person to push peace, being that he's one of the biggest artists to come out of Chicago and has major influence. However, as y'all know, when it comes to pushing peace, it could be tricky because you have people who are going to agree with it and you got some who aren't, for the fact that blood has been spilled for years, and some people just can't let go of that feeling, knowing that they were trolled at a time where they had to grieve over a loved one. Recently, Durk did a song featuring YTB Fat called Conspiracy Volume 2, where he mentioned FYB J-Man's name, stating, quote, "Same N-words and affairs that had your back, send that boy a deuce. Pushing peace, not a truce. Matter of fact, tell J-Man to send me some whoops." Now, although many are still waiting to see what J-Man and Little Durk got in store and how they're going to manage pushing peace, I think we were all shocked to hear Little Durk mention J-Man's name in the song. Even though some people doubted the link up between J-Man and Durk was genuine, where some think it was all for publicity, but once again it's a step in the right direction. It could potentially lead to something positive for the youth. Now on the flip side of it, like we told y'all earlier, everyone isn't going to agree with the pushing peace, and everybody has their own reasons. As Durk mentioned J-Man's name in the song, J-Man will repost a clip to his Instagram account, and people will have something to say in the comments, whether it was good or bad. One of those people who happened to be FBG Duck affiliate and drill legend Billionaire Black. Billionaire would take to the comments and say, quote, "Just don't sacrifice me, brother, prayer hands emoji." Then you have famous Dex replying, as he would say, quote, "That's what real do, gang." Now, unfortunately, the Grim Reaper himself, Little Reese, who J-Man claimed he was related to, will respond to another media outlet sharing the news, as he will reply saying, quote, "Thumbs down and laughing emojis. J-Man can't come this way, bloody." J-Man responded with the eyes, bull, and fire emoji. Now in a nutshell, Little Reese is letting it be known that what they got going on may be cool, but not everybody is on the same page with them, and it's all fun and games, but despite what they doing, J-Mane can't come around them regardless. And to be honest, I know everybody say, they with pushing peace, but we also have to remember J-Mane's history and know that he was overly disrespectful at a point in time. So you're gonna have people that's with it and some people that's not. That's with life, period. You always got the yin and the yang. You got some people that's gonna be with you and you got some people that's not gonna agree. It's just life. I just hope J-Mane is a good enough judge of character to determine who's genuinely trying to push peace and who's not. Just so he don't end up getting himself in a backdoor situation and possibly, hopefully not, losing his life. However, that brings us to our next topic at hand, where J-Mane have announced recently that he's removing the FYB from his name and would just like to be known as J-Mane. He would take to his IG story and say, quote, "From now on, call me J-Mane or the Woot Man, not FYB J-Mane. I can't be attached to certain ish." Now it seems pretty random, but it also seemed like something may be going on behind the scenes for him to just come out randomly and say something just like that. I'm sure he's not just gonna come out the blue and say that for no reason, as he said that he can't have certain things attached to his name, and plus, we've been known him as FYB J-Mane. So what is it that made him want to drop the FYB from his name? Now, despite people looking at J-Mane like he's just a funny guy, and some friends may still look at him as the same FYB J-Mane, but at the end of the day, he does now have a brand that he has to protect because he's the face of it. So like he said, he can't attach himself to certain people, places, or things if he's trying to reach a different level and they're still out there doing the same thing that he's trying to get away from. So it also makes him look bad whether he's doing it or not, because he still has the FYB on his name and it makes him look like he's still associated with that brand. Quick example, right? Let's say somebody a part of FYB, they do something in the streets and something happens, and then it comes on the news where they say an FYB member did something to somebody. They would still attach J-Mane's name to that because he's a known figure and have FYB in his name. So whether he's doing something or not, it's still damaging to his brand. So with that being said, after J-Mane announced that he no longer wants to be associated with FYB attached to his name, FYB Monte would have something to respond, as he would take to his IG story and repost J-Mane's post but caption it saying, quote, "Talking about not FYB no more, Durk must have told him sacrifice one of the gods or something." Now before I say anything, notice how everybody refers to sacrifice whenever they mention Durk's name. And I find that funny because any other time dudes would say it's some conspiracy theory stuff, but clearly they say the same thing, I guess, only when it's convenient for them. Anyway, on another slide, FYB Monte would say, quote, "I ain't tweaking, I said what I said, wink emoji." Then in the last slide, he would say, quote, "Going live at 6:30 p.m. I got something to say. You don't want to miss this live." Now I didn't catch the live, so I don't know what was said, but for y'all that don't know, FYB Monte and J-Mane are pretty close. These days you don't know what to believe with people because everyone's staging controversy all for the sake of views and whatever, so take this with a grain of salt. The same situation happened with Vaughn on 1700 and G Herbo. However, it seemed like there's a little friction between the two, with J-Mane wanting to remove FYB from his name and Monte not agreeing with it. Now what's interesting is that if you've been following the drill culture, you know that Monte have dissed O-Block and Little Durk a lot. He also dissed King Von, Boss Smooth, and a few others. So I don't know if J-Mane's new relationship with Durk is what's making him fall out with the guys, or maybe it's just a case of something else going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Who knows? Aside from that, King Yellow will also have something to say in regards to FYB J-Mane and Tay Savage pushing peace. Yellow will post saying, quote, "More people passed when they did it. Shaking my head. And when I did it, nobody was dying. Remember that." Now, could this be a little jealousy? Maybe. Because if y'all remember, J-Mane and Yellow was right together at one point in time, but it seemed like J-Mane then took off and went to a different level. Not to mention, they always beefing with each other. We don't know whether they serious or not. But the link up that he had with Little Durk, when we all know that Yellow have attempted numerous of times to get Durk's attention and push peace with him, it kind of may seem like maybe King Yall have a little bit of envious behavior towards J-Man. However, like I always tell people, sometimes certain things are just meant for certain people. Sometimes you could be trying to get something for years and never get it, and another person could be trying to get the same thing just in a matter of months and they end up getting it. It don't necessarily mean that they're better than you, but sometimes certain things are just meant for certain people and it just is what it is. Now when it comes to J-Man, he has to be very careful. As he starts progressing, it's going to be people around him that feel like they want his position or should be in his position, and sometimes that behavior could be deadly because you don't know what someone is capable of doing out of envy, jealousy, or flat out greed. And it usually comes from someone close or someone you assume that you could trust at a point in time. So we got to be careful. But on another note, y'all let me know what y'all think about this and how y'all feel about FYB J-Man taking FYB off his name and why you think he's doing it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'ma keep on dropping. And I'm out.